Hey guys, so it's been about 2 weeks since I built my cold brew tower, and I've practically been brewing a bunch of coffee with it every single day. I think it's had enough time in the wild to give it an honest review. So the big question is, how does coffee from a DIY cold brew tower taste? I'll lay that out in this video, so stick around. And also stick around to the end of the video where I'll show my actual process of how I'm making the coffee. Okay, let me cut to the chase. The coffee that it's brewing is actually really good. Really good. I've practically been drinking 3 or 4 cups a day. It's kind of crazy how easy and smooth it is. Probably some of the best coffee I've ever had, honestly. And it's actually kind of crazy that it's coffee that I'm making and I can enjoy practically infinitely with way less money spent, which is what I'm all about, really. I've had also a lot of coworkers try it, and they've all had pretty much the same experience, just that it's dark but not bitter or acidic, that is just really smooth. And I do have some recordings of my coworkers actually trying the coffee for the first time. What the heck is this clay? We can't make that much.
Yeah. This is the best cup of iced coffee I've ever had. It's darn good.
Yeah.
This is the most concentrated coffee I've ever had.
I don't normally drink coffee, so I don't know if I want to just step right into cold
No,
brew
this
and
is
do that to myself.
This is dark mode, right? Like this is.
Well, to be fair, like skip the middleman. Why waste time? Starbucks sucks.
The reaction!
Yum face. Let's see it.
And I did have some coworkers that I didn't record the reactions for, but they were just, thinking about like ways that we could scale this, how we could make this even bigger, how we could make more of this, how we could have more people enjoy this. And, this kind of process has actually been really exciting. Seeing people come by the tower and just sort of admire the work of it, as well as just like, be really happy. There's just a general buzz around it, I think, and I think that's really cool. Alright, so now let me get into the cons of this tower. And there are a few, but they're mostly negligible, I would say. So obviously the biggest complaint about this tower is just how long it takes to make coffee. And that's just something you have to know coming in. Like, you're slowly dripping coffee over coffee grounds, and it's just going to take hours. So that's like one of the things that I have to struggle with. Is just that I can only make so much coffee per day, that only so many people can enjoy this coffee, and that's kind of a shame because I would want everyone in my office to try some. So another con about the cold brew coffee tower is it just takes a ridiculous amount of coffee to actually make the cold brew. We order probably about a pound of coffee a week, and we go through that entire thing within a 5-day work week, and that's just a lot of coffee. But the thing is, at the end of the day, it is cold brew concentrate, so you can always cut it down. And so I'm seeing maybe about like 5 to 6 cold brew concentrate cups a day, and you can cut that down with equal part water, maybe even twice equal parts water. So 5 cups would be about 15 cups of coffee. I don't know if that's a good deal or not, but honestly, this is coffee that is better than coffee that I'm buying at actual bakeries and cafes. Like, over the weekend I went to a place, I won't mention the name, but they're a bakery that sells coffee, and I asked for their cold brew, and their cold brew was, I'm not trying to be arrogant, but kind of subpar to the cold brew that I'm making. This cold brew was probably made in bulk, and then had probably been sitting around or something, but it was way more acidic, way more bitter, but they had tons of it on tap, and that's probably like the difference between a slow drip tower like this and maybe like an immersion brewing style like a toddy or something. Alright, so this is another fun bit, but we were making enough coffee where we were actually able to try some recipes. So one of my first ideas was to try making horchata. And if you don't know what horchata is, it's sort of like a Mexican dessert milk drink. I would just describe it as like the milk that you have after eating Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It's got some milk, some cinnamon, some almonds, some brown rice that's been soaking in there, and it's really good and cinnamony. So we tried that recipe first. It's also got condensed milk in it, and I was probably a little bit too conservative with the condensed milk, so it wasn't as sweet as I've tried it in restaurants before, but it was definitely still good. We actually tried multiple batches, and the first batch had a little bit more condensed milk, but the second batch had a little bit more cinnamon, and if I had just combined those two together, it would have been perfect. But then we kind of moved on from that. I think that the coffee by itself is just so good that you really don't need to dilute it with something else. So my manager Walter also owns a farm, and so he has several goats that he milks every morning. And so we were able to get organic goat's milk, and one night he actually made us sweetened condensed milk, made with sugar, butter, and, you know, homemade freshly squeezed, is that how you describe goat's milk? Freshly squeezed goat's milk, and it was really good. The only thing with that is that the butter kind of like solidified when it got cold, so I think that if he were to try the recipe again, he would also take that butter out. But, you know, that was just very good. I liked it, but my coworker Kyle did not. But that goes back to the whole, like, you know, we don't necessarily need these recipes to make this coffee good. I think it's really good on its own already. And, like, I think that people that don't even like coffee will enjoy this coffee. Alright, so those are my thoughts on the cold brew tower that I made a few weeks ago. If you wanted to check it out and make one for yourself, it only takes about $100, and, you know, for me at least, I feel that I've gotten all my money back and more. I share the coffee with all my team and, you know, multiple people on other teams, and I really wish that I was able to make more. And I'm definitely considering even like creating a second tower so that we can have more output. So yeah, if you want to make your own, check out this video. I think it goes over here, or maybe over here. Check out that video if you want to make your one for yourself. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this quick video. If you liked the video and the content, you know, like I said at the beginning of the video, give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, definitely consider subscribing. I put a new video out every week. And here is the clip of me making the cold brew in the morning, the very first morning. So the ice is going in. Still trying to figure out all the ratios and stuff, so, you know, if that's too much ice or too little ice, I'll just figure it out later. I'm using Death Wish today, again. So I think that's about it. Hello, I'm making some coffee. That's my director, Dave. Right, so I'm gonna try to make this as saturated as possible. So one thing that I want to mention is that the way that I just showed you how I was making it, you actually don't need to do it like that. You actually don't need to bloom the coffee, and I found that out just through tons of experimentation. And so you can just do it bone dry, and it'll still produce coffee, just way, way slower, probably like twice as slow. Sorry if it's a little dark, but so I guess this is sort of like blooming. Oh, I spilled a little bit actually. Alright, so I'm almost done. Got the coffee in there. I'm going to get this other paper filter and wet it a little bit. Place it right here. Alright, cool, that looks good. And then I'm going to open this valve just a little bit. Okay, I think that's a good drip rate. So some of it actually is already dripping out. Yeah, we actually need to figure out like this whole thing, it's splashing so much. But I think I'm good to go for now. Okay, we'll come back in like 4 hours or whatever. Alright, so thanks for watching the video. I'll see you next week. Peace.